vampires, the way he stood in his tall leather coat with his weaponry, with his sunglasses on. Why, hello there YouTube and welcome back to 31. So we're on day 12 now and it is our penultimate day, our 6th day of 90s week. And for that one, I'm reviewing Blade. So, of course, this is based on the Marvel Comics, and we see this world, this underground world of vampirism, where vampires secretly live among man. And, during a rave, a guy walks into a trap where vampires are out raving and they put blood in the sprinklers until Blade arrives on the scene, and he is known as the Daywalker, and takes out all the vampires because he's badass. And of course, many vampires fear him as he is the Daywalker because he is a hybrid, half human, half vampire. Because when his mother was pregnant with him, she was attacked by a vampire, and some of that vampirism got into him, and he became a hybrid. So he had all the abilities and strengths and good qualities of a vampire, but also had the abilities of a human, where he could walk in the sunlight. And of course, he gets found and recruited and trained by this man named Whistler, played by Chris Christopherson. Wesley Snipes, of course, plays Blade, and he goes out to uncover this vampire monster, this villain, Deacon Frost, who wants to, unlock this hidden power of vampires and become unstoppable. And of course, Blade is the only one who can kill him or stop him. So, what did I like about this? Well, this was the first Marvel movie that predates the MCU by 10 years. At the time there were superhero movies out, like we had the 4 Superman movies in the 70s and 80s. We had the Batman movies that were coming out, and we just had a disappointing flop with Batman and Robin the year before. And we had this come out in 1998. And it was a hit. Not only that, it wasn't just the first comic book superhero related movie to star a black lead actor, but also be R-rated, and it worked. So before Black Panther, before Deadpool, there was Blade. And of course, they're about to redo Blade in the MCU, played by Mahershala Ali, if that film ever gets on track and released by next year, at the time of recording this video. So, yes, I loved the action, the blood, the violence, the vampires, and Wesley Snipes kicking ass. And he was just a badass in this. The way he handled the vampires, the way he stood in his tall leather coat with his weaponry, with his sunglasses on, and even in the finale, he can't go without them sunnies, so he puts them on and fights Frost with his, vest on, and we get some badassery there. And I liked him. I liked Stephen Dorff as Deacon Frost. He was an interesting villain, but he kind of felt like a spoiled teenager in some parts. Also, the mythology in this of vampires is slightly different to not what we all know. In this, they can die by silver, like a silver bullet can disintegrate them, daylight can burn them, and of course, apparently the vampires in this age slower than humans, and also they all have like this tattoo of recognition on them. We even get Donald Logue in this too, playing like the henchman, one of those nutty henchmen that steal the show, which I liked his character. And this had a dark gothic tone to it. Also, this had a cameo from Stan Lee. That was, I mean, he was still involved as an executive producer, but he had a cameo originally as a policeman that got cut. And this film actually had a test screening where the audience didn't really like much of it. So this film underwent reshoots, and for whatever reason, they clearly worked because this film became a hit and was great, even though it delayed it from a 97 release. Also, didn't want to compete with Batman and Robin, but it got out in the end in 1998. But this isn't just an action anti-hero comic book movie. This is also horror. It's a horror movie too, because vampires are from horror. They're horror monsters. They're always going to be associated with the horror genre. And when I was a kid, I believed that this film were quite scary, but I watched it many years later as a young adult, and I never found it scary. But yeah, this has blood and gore because it's a vampire movie, and it shows that comic book movies can be R-rated. They can work if they're done right, and in this case, Blade is done right. And Wesley Snipes went on to reprise his role as Blade in Blade 2, and then Blade Trinity, but that one wasn't as good. And then, of course, he most recently reprised his role in Deadpool and Wolverine. Yeah. And stated that there's only ever going to be one Blade. Well, it's burst a bubble there, Wesley, but... But yeah, Blade was just, this, like I say, good action, good horror, and good vampire kickassery. So, and it came out in the 90s. So, what am I going to rate this one? You know what? I will give this 5 stabs out of 5. 5 stabs out of 5 for Blade. So there you go. There is my review for today. Have you seen Blade? What do you think? Do you like it? Let me know all that down in the comments. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up, share with your friends, and feel free to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and to hit that notification bell. All my social media links are linked down below in the description, so you can check all that out. And you can watch all the 31 so far on the channel too. So yeah, I will see you tomorrow, and until then, until next time, don't have nightmares.